factors that one has to look into. Nowadays you hear lots about VOCs, scratch resistance, gas fade, yellowing. I didn't hear much about gas fade or yellowing, but this is also an issue in designing colors for engineering plastics. Now let's talk about the second part, which is the applications of exterior or under the hood. Here the color technology is not much involved. Everything is black, varying shades of black. But the other important issues are again weatherability and light fastness, oil and grease resistance, especially if the part that you are making is going under the hood. And once again, retention of properties is far more important in products that go under the hood rather than inside the cabin. And especially with black, black is, if it is colored by carbon black, then you have a unique problem that carbon black is exceedingly difficult to disperse, and if you have agglomerates of carbon black in your component, it can be very significantly weakened in terms of impact strength and tensile strength. I think many of the people here would agree, those who have made black compounds of engineering plastics. If the master batch is not well dispersed, you will have a significant fall in the property of the material. Now, having given you the background of what are the important issues and factors in design of the master batch, I am going to give you our know-how. How do we design master batches for engineering plastics? What are the issues that we consider? First thing to know, and know in very great detail, when I want to know what is the polymer being considered to be colored, we don't only need to know, हम तो HDP color करेंगे या PP color करेंगे, या we need to know the exact grade. We need to know what kind of additives are there, whether it's UV stabilized, what kind of antioxidant is there. So if you want a good master batch design, you have to start with good knowledge of the polymer to be colored. Unfortunately, that knowledge or that information is rarely forthcoming. So what do we decide from the knowledge of polymer to be colored? Of course, we decide on the carrier, and that affects the colorant selection. Colorant selection, every design factor affects the colorant selection. Actually, the objective of master batch design first is to select the right colorant. So all of these factors affect colorant selection. Second, of course, is the processing temperature. Again, this decides on colorant selection and stabilizer selection. I mean antioxidant selection. Additives present in the polymer. Besides colorant selection, it also decides loading of colorant. An unfilled material and a filled material require different loading of pigments to achieve the same color. So unless we know exactly what kind of filler is there in your in your polymer and what is the loading of that filler in the polymeric material, it is difficult to design the loading of the colorants. If you say, give me a 2% master batch, I should know how much additive to put or how much colorant to put in the master batch, and that will only come by knowing how much is the loading of fillers and other additives in the base polymer. Lastly, certification and compliance required. Now this is a very interesting situation. We come to know about this after the master batch has been made, used, and the part shipped to your export customer. You would not believe it. This happened to us now. Now the reach is in force. When the consignment landed at one of the European ports, we got a very urgent phone call from our customer. He said, we want to know what all is there in the product, what is there in the master batch, is it compliant with reach regulation or not. So that is the time when we come to know, when their customer, our customer's customer wants a certification, that is the time they get up and ask me or our team, please give me this certificate. They don't ask whether it complies with that or not. They say, just give me that certificate. Now, unfortunately, we can't do that always. You know, even to my good friends, some of them are there in the audience at the back, I cannot do that. I have to certify what we have put in the master batch. And unfortunately, sometimes we miss the requirement and then we are put into trouble. So whenever you are specifying a master batch, please be very careful about telling what kind of compliance is required. Now for the last part, what kind of master batch does Plastic Chemics make and can supply? Polymers, almost all the polymers that I showed you in the earlier slide, we can make master batch for that. We can make for PPT, PO, ABS, PC, ABS, PC alone, PBT, nylon, polyacetyl, PMMA, modified PPO. The carrier for the master batch is polymer specific. There is no such thing, especially in the engineering plastic industry, there is no such thing as a universal master batch. You know, you may have heard rumors that this guy is selling a universal master batch, that guy is selling a universal master batch. But that's okay for LDPP and such commodity plastics. Method of formulating the master batch. None of our master batch now would contain any cadmiums or lead or any of those 6 items which are there in ROHs, you know, PBs or PBDEs. None of these things are there in our master batches. Color tolerances. This is a subject close to the heart of these auto guys, you know. They think that once they've got 0.5 delta E, they've solved all their problems. That is not the case, but still for good form, we can make the master batch to 0.5 delta E, but we ensure that despite being 0.5 delta E, it is a good visual match. Because 0.5 is not the same thing as good visual match. It's a good start for a good visual match, but it is not a good visual match. Light and weather stabilizers as per customers' requirements. Also offer a system of master batches. That is, if you are going to color 3 or 4 different polymers and you want the same color, then we can give you 3 or 4 different master batches which will give you the same color in your 3 different polymers. This is even compounds we can make, for that matter, pre-colored compounds, which will give you the same despite being made from polymers. So with that, I come to an end of my talk and would take any questions now. Thank you.
Sir, just I was having some doubt regarding master batches, so I want to just clarify that. Like, for example, I give you an example, you have to develop a master batch for a socket. Maybe it's white in color, and it is UV and FR stabilized, maybe a PC material. The master batch which will be developing, the base polymer for it will be UV and FR stabilized, and it will be adding.
I didn't get your question. You want
like for example, yeah. Like for example, you are developing a plug, and that plug is made up of like PC material, and that PC material is both FR and UV stabilized, which your processor is using there. The master batch which he is going to add, that master batch may be developed by you, and that master batch base polymer, or rather you say carrier polymer, will be a UV and FR stabilized polymer.
Most likely it will not be, because at 2% addition level, which is the general addition level,
yeah,
it will be the same polymer, but it may not be, at least not the FR
So then I think it will be the general purpose one, and you'll be adding additives into it, basically. Okay, thank you.
Hello. So just I want to know, what is the reason of metamerism?
Beg your pardon?
What is the reason of metamerism?
What is the reason of metamerism? The
Yeah.
reason of metamerism is basically matching a color with different types of pigments.
No, this is the definition of the metamerism.
No, that is not the definition of
So
metamerism.
what is the reason behind that? Why metamerism comes?
That is because the reflectances of different pigments are different, and that is what causes the metamerism. So you have different reflectance curves. You have 2 or 3. If you have 3 different formulations, and if they have different reflectance curve, they can still have the same color, but give you a metameric effect. So basically, this happens because of 2 reasons. One is the base polymer is different, but the more important reason is that the pigment selected for different recipes are different.
But if we consider that base polymer is a difference,
Base polymer difference is not so significant as the difference in the colorants themselves. Base polymer also contributes a certain amount, but a very low amount to metamerism. That is generally acceptable. You know, if you make the right master batch and have the right loading, that is generally controlled easily. But if we use different pigments, then you cannot control metamerism.
that means mainly the selection of pigment is the reason
Selection
behind
of
that.
pigments is the key. That is the job and the technology of the master batch company.
It may be possible to, the reason behind that temperature stability of that pigment?
You see, that is the job of the master batch company, to give you a temperature stable recipe or temperature stable master batch. You know, there is no point in giving you a master batch which you cannot mold. You know, it becomes brown by the time the part comes out. Then they have not done a good job.
Okay, thank you.